What is going on, y'all? I am Jeff Rooney, and I have a very special guest. I have the real Cobra Burnout. What's up, man?
Boom.
Boom.
What's up,
Oh,
Jeff Rooney?
Jeff Rooney. So, just real quick intro. Where like I said, I'm Jeff Rooney. This is the real Cobra Burnout. Cobra, what's your latest and greatest in Transformers? What's new?
What's new? What's happening in the Transformer verse? I just dropped a vid yesterday. I went ahead and opened up the Optimus Prime that I bought like 20 freaking years ago.
Man,
That
I
yeah,
that
that
that thing's a beast. That thing's pretty freaking huge, dude.
yeah, that anniversary edition, like was the 20th anniversary edition. I guess it's the MPO1, the
Yeah.
masterpiece, but it's like I don't think it actually says it on the packaging, but it's like it says Hasbro. I remember getting that thing off the shelf at Walmart,
Okay,
brand new.
that was a Walmart. That wasn't a
That was
Toys. That
when,
wasn't a Toys
yeah,
R Us exclusive.
that was before they switched to Toys R Us. So I
Okay.
was like oh 03, 2004 time frame, I do believe. Might
Yeah.
have been oh 04. I thought I got it in oh 03, but the box says oh 04. But carried that sucker around for,
Well, and if it's the 20th anniversary, the show came out in '84, right? So,
yeah. So yeah. I don't know if they hit the shelves early or what, but of course, my
okay.
memory's a little foggy from 20 years ago, but either
Yeah.
way, it was oh 03, oh 04 time frame. I got it brand new off the shelf. I couldn't tell you if it was 59 bucks or 99 bucks.
Yeah.
Like, I do not remember at this point in
You
time.
just you just you just
I
purchased it.
got it, put it into the closet. Every once in a while, I'd take it out and be like, I wonder if this is worth anything. I'd look on eBay, it's worth about 100 bucks. Put it back
Put
up,
it back up. Yeah.
move to another location. I might need to sell that. Pull it out, it's worth 100 bucks. You know,
Yeah.
fast forward to just the other day, and I'm like, I'm opening this,
Man, I
and
don't I don't blame you because
it was epic.
yeah, because whenever you were talking about selling it, I was like I need that because I have the MP10 and the MP01
Yeah,
is I I think that one is a couple inches taller. So like
he's a beastie.
and everything's not in scale with those first couple releases. So if you go and
Yeah,
buy
that's what I was reading.
yeah, so if you like, and that was whenever MP10 came out, they were trying to reset the scale back to where it's like,
Hmm.
this is whatever. This is like MP10 is going to be our de facto scale, and then we're going to try to bait. Which in the show they're always mass forming. Like Astro Train is the same height as Megatron, but he can also carry Megatron whenever he is injured in battle in
Yeah,
his caboose. Um,
yeah.
so speaking of the original G1 show, you're an '80s kid. So how old were you whenever
Dude,
Transformers come out?
I was born in the 70s, but yeah, I grew up in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
80s. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty accurate, I guess.
Like
But
you got like your first experience, in the '80s. Like you probably don't remember the '70s all that much, right? But so like
oh, the
so
70s were the greatest,
the
man.
greatest.
They were the greatest. Yeah, no, but 80s, yeah, that was pretty some pretty formative years there. That's back in the days when we had Saturday morning cartoons. Everything's streaming nowadays. My kids, they just everything's streaming. There's no like special event. Like
Yeah,
back then it was, you had your TV channels that we either got off air, if we were lucky during that time period, we'd have some cable,
yeah,
you know. But Saturday mornings you got up, you watch cartoons, and what was coming on? G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man. And what's funny is, yeah, I know this now, but back then I didn't. All those things were based off of toys because they
yeah.
wanted to
Of
sell these
course.
toys. So like
Yeah,
these Transformers, learn this later, Notorious. Uh, I don't know if Notorious is the right word, but these things were what made in Japan as
yeah.
toys first.
Well, they started out as
What were they
Diaclone.
called? Diaclones,
Yep.
yeah. Um, but growing up as a kid, I thought, the TV
The TV
series
show.
came
Yeah,
out first. No,
yeah. It's the
that was
Diaclones.
designed to get us to buy the toys, but
Which I mean, it
um,
worked.
it worked because we all wanted them. I do remember my very first Transformer that I got because it was weird because I don't remember what year it was. Obviously in the 80s, but I'd done something where I don't know if chores or good grades or something, and my mom like took me to Toys Plus was the toy store.
Yeah.
So this is like pre Toys R Us time period. Toys Plus will put a smile on your child. Toys Plus. That was the jingle. Like Toys Plus, put a smile on your child.
Toys.
Toys Plus. All right. So anyway, pull up there, and she didn't even go in with me. It was like,
She's like, she gave you like
hey,
$10 or
yeah. I
something.
don't know if she was hanging out the front. Yeah, actually, it was around 10. $10 or $15 or something. It was like gave me a limit, said go pick something out. Um, so I went up and down the aisles and I was looking for those Transformers.
Yeah.
And I don't know what shelf it was actually on, but to me it was like right at the height I
Yep.
was at. So
Yep.
however tall I was back then, it was like right there. They had them stationed where kids my age would see them perfectly on the shelves. And I was like, okay, can't afford Optimus Prime,
Yeah.
you
Optimus
know,
Prime's
can't
probably like a
afford
20
all the.
buck,
He was a
$20
biggie,
toy.
yeah. He was like 20, 25, something like that. Um, Sideswipe, got
Okay.
sideswipe. Found him was like
Which
the
I
red
was gonna say
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini. Okay, I couldn't remember if he was an F1 or if he's a Lamborghini.
Yeah, Lamborghini. This is all from memory because I don't have them anymore. I remember pulling him down. It was like he was within the limit. I think he must have been under 10 because I think I had $10.
Yeah.
Um, Whatever it was just right on the money. Um, Got him. Yeah, so that was my first one, and they were pretty. I mean, they looked really good in car form. You know, they
Yep.
had diecast
They got
metal.
diecast. Yep.
They did have plastic parts too in them, but they had real rubber tires.
Yeah.
Um, Transforming them, they kind of once you get them transformed, they kind of look like what you saw on the TV show, but they didn't
There's
move.
well, they didn't
They
move at
met the
all.
joints.
Like I've got like I've
Yeah,
got a Starscream, and his it's like his arms move, but his legs don't move at
yeah,
all.
they're like
You
the
know, and
classic
well, yeah,
wood.
yeah, and there's no elbow joint, but he can move
No
it just kind
elbow
of.
joint.
You can just
Yep.
move it up and down.
Yeah.
I guess like so I was talking to somebody about this pretty recently, and I mean you probably like I can remember whenever I was a kid, and you walk into Toys R Us and they have like I can remember you walk into the front area of Toys R Us and they have like the Toys R Us section, like as soon as you walk in, or Toys R Us, the Transformers section or Star Wars, whatever was
Mhm.
the hot
Yeah.
thing, and it was a whole wall of these toys. And like now you don't really see that anymore. Like that's not a thing that happens anymore. Like you walk into Target and it's usually ransacked.
Yeah.
You're not like, and the other thing I've noticed is, you're talking about like walk in and you saw Optimus Prime, you saw, I don't know if you saw Megatron or Soundwave, but you could usually like find like your core characters. But that's
Yeah, the
like
biggies.
you can't do that anymore. Like you go into
No.
a Walmart and it's like you're not finding Optimus. Like they
No.
might have got one of those and somebody already bought that. Like it's just it's just a different
Yeah.
time.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like, we actually, when I was a kid, we had real toy stores. You know,
Right.
you got to experience some with Toys R Us, but I think when Toys R Us went under here in it just like that was the last of
Yeah.
the old school dedicated toy stores.
Yeah.
There may be some mom and pop shops out there, maybe, but nothing in my area. So it's like you go to Walmart, you go to Target, and toys are like a little secondary,
Yeah.
portion of it. So there's there's no grandeur for taking your kids to the toy store anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and you don't have the same selection, but we have the internet at least.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely
you
like
know,
get. You usually got to pay a little bit more of a premium, and
Shipping.
there's
Yeah.
nothing quite like the thrill of the hunt either. Like if you're if you're going and buying a toy and you're like, all right, I want Optimus Prime. Like I know that this store is gonna have it, and you can just go grab it. And that's like
Yeah.
exciting. You have, and you're like sitting in the back of the car, and you're like reading the back of the box. And you're like, all right,
Mhm.
Optimus Prime is the leader of the Autobots. It's
Yep.
from the planet
Yeah.
Cybertron.
Yeah.
Like you have this like big thing.
There's something about having it in hand, looking at it, looking at them,
Yeah,
figuring out what you can get, even if you can't get them. Like, oh, here it is.
yeah,
That's how it was for me with Optimus. I did eventually get a G1 Optimus, um, not directly off the shelf, but my older brother just happened to later on work at Toys Plus, and you may know
yeah,
this guy.
yeah.
You
I've
may
heard of
know this guy.
I heard of
You may
him.
have heard about him,
Yeah,
Ronnie's Games.
Ronnie's
But
games.
yeah, shout out, go check his YouTube channel. But
Yeah.
anyway, he used to work later on. He got a job working at Toys Plus, and when they would get damaged items in,
Okay.
this is a story I know it to be because it's secondhand from him. But they would get damaged stuff in, they were told to destroy it or clearance it out. Instead of sending it back, it was, I guess, cheaper.
Yeah.
If they took a return on something, and that's how I got my Optimus. It came in, something was like, I don't know if something was missing out of the box or something,
Where the
and
box was
so he was
crunched.
able to get it. He was able to get it like super discounted and hooked me up with it. Basically, I don't
Okay.
remember. I think he's. I don't want to say the word swindle, but I think there was some type of contract where I had to like, because he used to make me sign these contracts where I would like have to trade him
Oh,
like one of my Star Wars,
you're signing
figures.
contracts?
Yeah,
Oh,
because I was a kid, like I would want to go back on the deal, because it'd be like, oh, I trade you the Star Wars figure for this gym bag, like, and I realized I got ripped off. I want my Star Wars guy back.
yeah. He's like, well, I got you the
Now he
gym
pulled out
bag.
the contract like it's
A binding
like
document.
a binding document. I wonder if he has any of those. That'd be crazy. But
Yeah.
there was always some scheme going. But but and I think maybe that one. I think I eventually. Oh, you know what? I don't even know if I told him this. I think I do remember how I got that. So he wanted me to pay him some cash,
Yeah. Okay.
right, and a certain amount. I don't remember the exact amount. I don't know if it was 20 bucks or whatever it was,
There's more.
but
There's more than he paid for it. I'm sure.
I'm sure however he got it. But I think I do remember actually going into his room and taking this said cash out of his wallet
Oh, you
and
paid
then
him with
giving
this.
it.
You
He
paid him
paid
with.
him, pay him with his own money. Don't tell him.
Yeah. Hopefully, he doesn't see this.
No, I hooked him up with some Masters of the Universe recently, so I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, pro
yeah,
bono. Or
he's gotten his payback.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. A little
that
more
may or
cash.
may not have happened in that fashion, but regardless, I did get an Optimus, and it had this big red sticker on it because it'd been returned or whatever, but on the box. But he's long gone. All my original G1 stuff,
Yeah, they didn't make the.
long gone.
They didn't make
I
it.
had my other biggie I'd gotten was Jetfire.
Did you get Jetfire or
There was
Skyfire?
Is it Jetfire? The one that looks like the Robotech.
Well, they're so Jetfire and Skyfire are the same guy. It's just like
Yeah,
Skyfire. I think Skyfire is Takara Tomy, or maybe Robotech, and then Jetfire is or
it's pretty sure mine was called Jetfire. We can
yeah.
look that up.
Well, what
But
I was gonna say is I think maybe what it is because there's some kind of weird licensing thing with that. So I think maybe he was Jetfire in the show, or maybe he was. It's either he was Jetfire in the show and then the toy was Skyfire, or he was Skyfire in the show and the toy is Jetfire. There's some kind of weird
yeah,
like you know backwards
yeah.
backwards thing with that. Some controversy.
So I had him, whatever his name was, and I actually had him in the box. It was a massive box. I don't even know how I was able to get this thing.
Yeah,
I don't remember the circumstances, but I know I was heavy into Robotech too. And this guy was straight out of Robotech. He looked like the
yeah,
Battleoids, the F-14 that transformed.
yeah.
And I think they actually had to license
That's what I was gonna say. I think.
Robotech, yeah,
Yeah,
Robotech license to let them use that design. Really weird, but anyways, that was one of my favorite toys there because it looked like Robotech, and that's actually what I used them for mostly was as my
he was.
Robotech
He's a Robotech
because he
guy.
was good. He was better than the Robotech toys. Robotech toys were rubbish. They were like
Uh,
more plastic,
yeah,
whereas the Transformer had metal and diecast,
yeah. How
parts in it. He
how
was
did that
massive.
how did that compare to? Do you ever have any GoBots or any of that stuff?
Yeah, actually, I did have some GoBots. A lot of my stuff was secondhand, which was fine. But I had the big GoBot command center that
Yeah.
I'd gotten somewhere like garage sale or clearance, and it was weird because it only had like one side,
Yep.
like one show.
Oh,
Because
like
it
he'd
was like
been.
like it
Yeah.
was a clamshell and it would go like this, and then
Yeah.
he almost looked like an Imperial Walker,
Yeah. Yeah.
because he had legs, but he would form in this battle base. So I had him, and then later on I got a second one someone gave me or something, and so I wound up having a full one.
Hmm.
Um, because people got tired of their GoBots pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, and
GoBots, like
the GoBots like were kind of I don't want to say generic, but they were like they didn't have like uniqueness to them in the same way that the Transformers did. Like was
yeah,
it? It was like the
they
GoBots were all the same character almost, or at least they had the same design, maybe slightly different color. Is
they
that right?
didn't work. Yeah, I don't know. They didn't really seem to mesh together like in a world building. Like they didn't seem to like mesh together in a.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. Like there was just random vehicles. Like you'd have a really small like airplane, then you'd have a car that was bigger.
Yeah.
You know, that was twice the size. Because they were just trying to sell these little toys and they didn't really care about scale or nothing like that. I mean, scaling on the Transformer side was off a little
Yeah. A
bit,
little
but at
bit.
least when you got Optimus, he scaled good with the cars and
Yep.
stuff like that, the other Autobots.
Yep.
Whatever that, what was that big city?
Oh,
Um,
Metroplex or Fortress Maximus?
no, um, I don't think it was Fortress Maximus. He would turn into he had like a,
Or Omega
I don't remember
Supreme?
what, Omega Supreme.
Okay.
because
Yeah,
he had
yeah,
the rocket, and then he would
yeah,
turn into a track. I don't understand why he turned into a track. I
yeah,
didn't have him, but he was one of those you would see in the big box,
yeah.
in the store. But yeah, GoBots, I had some. I actually might have one or two GoBots somewhere in a
Just running
box.
around.
Yeah, because there was a truck that looked like Optimus, but he was tiny.
Yeah.
The toy was. I don't know if they made a bigger version of it, but he
So
looked like Optimus with a flatbed,
okay.
but then the bed became part of him as well when you
Oh, okay.
transformed him.
I was gonna say,
But
was that kind of like because sometimes they'll do that where they'll like scale them, like so if you have these like Titan class figures, they'll come
yeah,
with like miniature versions of the like
of the
of like Optimus or whatever. That way they they kind of like mesh, or it just looks like it's kind of in scale. But
yeah, GoBots were cool. I kind of remember some of them. Um, I think leader one was I think it was the Jet.
yeah,
It was a different, like they didn't like in Transformer Land world, the Jets were primarily the bad guys, except for a few off
yep,
Jets,
yeah,
Autobots, and then versus the Jets.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Decepticons can fly.
Your aerial bots and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you had some Aerobots, the combiners stuff, Constructicons. Those were cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a few of those, few of
Okay.
both.
So you definitely had a quite the collection. So like where are you at now? What's so you just said you just bought your, or you
Oh,
say you just
uh,
opened your MPO one. Are you
yeah,
fully
the
back
crown
in?
jewel. Fully back in. I don't know about fully back in because the
I
modern toys, they suck.
Yeah. Well, and they're
Um,
expensive too. Like
yeah.
you can get some
Now,
of those deluxe class ones, and they're, I say deluxe, they're 6 inch, but they're $20, and
mhm,
that's not
yeah,
you're paying $20 a pop. That adds up pretty quick.
yeah. I would like to get like a Megatron, a master. Yeah, if I get anything, it's gonna be masterpiece stuff probably. So I would like to get a Megatron. I
Yep.
might get the updated Optimus that's more in scale with the rest of them. I do have a couple somewhere in a box that I'd gotten along the way from Toys R Us back when Toys R Us was. I never opened them. I
Yeah.
remember what I have. I think I have a Soundwave, but
Yeah.
he's like a weird version. He's like clear or something weird.
Oh,
Um,
you've got that Year of the Goat sound wave. I think it's
yeah, I
what
got
it's
a bunch of
called.
Year of the Goat and Year of the Horse. I got a Year of the Horse. Oh, actually, I have a Year of the Horse Optimus, unless I sold him. See,
That's a
I moved, so a lot of these are
they've kind
boxed or in a closet.
they've kind of yeah.
Um, so I need to get them back down. We'll see what I got. I might open some of those up.
Yeah.
Because
They,
it was one of those things where I got them and I was like, maybe I'll hold on to these. It might be worth something, but they don't seem to ever really go up that much.
yeah, it kind of depends. Like on some of that stuff, man, like it's almost the ones that are in the main line, but like that they don't get made as often. Or I say made as often. They don't produce as many.
Right.
Sometimes
Yeah.
those are the ones that become pretty rare. Like some of these
Yeah.
masterpiece ones, they just kind of like ebb and flow, and they always reissue them. So that of course destroys the value of them whenever they're reissuing
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. So yeah, if I get anything, I'm gonna look some masterpiece maybe. They're just so expensive.
Yeah.
I got some of those Titan changers for my boy, and I did a vid on that too.
Yep.
Those things are pretty cheesy, pretty cheap
Yeah.
for the price. They're about three times what they should cost,
Yeah.
I think.
They got a
They're
lot
kind
of
of
hollow joints on some of these new
they're hollow.
Transformers.
Yeah.
And I mean,
So.
sometimes whenever you're transforming some of these newer ones, and like I said, if they're in the main line or whatever,
Mhm.
they you can see that plastic start turning white. You're like, oh man, you're like, okay, because
Yeah.
almost I, I don't think any of the new ones have die cast on them at all. Like if they might have maybe a die cast screw,
Yeah.
or like a little metal screw in there to pin those joints in, but that's about it. Like you're not getting that heft on the feet or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
I like some of these like reissues and stuff they do of the G1, but really the ones I have, like I had gotten a Starscream sometime back. I think I did a vid on that like a few years ago. Opened it up and it was like I remembered having him, the original one, so it was cool to get a reissue.
yeah,
And open it up and I realized, yeah, they're not that great. Like if I was a
and they're
kid trying to play with
they're
it,
still expensive too. Like even
they're
those.
super expensive. If they were like cheap nowadays, then it'd be different. But yeah, like we talked about before, their elbows and stuff don't move.
Yep.
They look good as an airplane, or at least he does, But I mean, so yeah, masterpiece is the way to go, I think, on
Yeah.
those. But
Yeah. Like
I mean, those.
I've got a Devastator that's a G1. I mean it's a Tonkanator, so it's yellow. You know, it's
Tonka
yeah, Transformers cross Tonka, and it was like $100, and it was like this kind of gift set thing that they were selling at
Yeah.
Target, and I got it. And then I started like building it, and I was like, yeah, this thing's kind of a piece of crap. Like from the G, like it's from whatever it is, '84 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I had
it's
I think I eventually had all those and could make Devastator. Yeah, and he was like,
he didn't
yeah,
move, like his
he
arms
didn't really
moving.
move. Yep. Yeah, that's the way those.
No,
They got
no
us.
leg movement.
Yeah, but yeah, it is interesting that all these cartoons like Transformers, Master of the Universe was notorious for that as well. Toy first,
Yeah,
cartoon later,
yeah,
comic book later type thing. But at least that's what I think it was. But Transformers was that way, and that was crazy. But we actually got some decent cartoons out of it, at least. You know,
yeah,
the storylines don't really what they established in the original doesn't really seem to follow like the later movies,
yeah,
so to speak. Um, but I'm just glad we're getting some Transformer movies.
yeah. So
And my bar is set pretty low.
yeah, that's
I'll
what I was
tell
gonna
you that.
ask. So if you've seen them all, right?
Yeah, yeah, I've
Okay.
seen them all.
I think the only one I haven't seen, I never saw Last Night, so that was the last one with old Mark Wahlberg. I never watched that one just because I
You
heard
did
how
not?
I as a Transformers
Ah,
fan, I could not
oh,
bring myself to stoop that low.
not even watch it
No,
once.
no, I was like, I don't even own it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Now I will say that yeah, I think that one I may have watched once, maybe twice. I watched all of them in theater.
yeah. I did.
Um,
I saw Age of
so,
Extinction in theater, and I think I saw it twice in theaters. The one with all the Dinobots, and that one's a little long. That one's like I think a 2.5 hour Transformer movie,
yeah.
which is pretty brutal.
Yeah, the Bayverse. What I don't like about those, and of course I went and saw them all. My bar was set a little bit. I was a little bit disappointed with the first one. I was actually going to be an extra in the first one. I don't know if I told. I think I've told you that
Yeah,
story
yeah,
before.
yeah,
Yeah, so like, just for those that are curious, it's not that big. It's more of an impact on me
yeah,
emotionally.
yeah,
It's like an emotional scar that will
yeah.
never go away.
It's just like that one time.
Yeah.
Like it should have been me.
Yeah.
It should have been
Yep.
me.
Yeah. So they were doing, and you'll notice this in the first movie. They did do a little bit of the filming on various Air Force bases. So
Yep.
they were allowed to use some of the runways, some of the. It was just the military's always trying to find ways to get a little good PR out there. Air Force has never had a movie that compares with Top Gun. Well, maybe Iron Eagle. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, help with recruiting. So they have these PR people that will let some of these movie people in
Mhm.
sometimes. But they were doing a little scene of troops loading up on cargo planes to deploy. And that was going to be where they did an all call for like some extras and stuff like that. And they only had so many slots or whatever. And for my
Yeah.
squadron, they were only going to let one of us do it. Why one? I don't know. We had to actually compete for this. It was
Is
it
this
was crazy.
like a
I had to
fitness
write it.
competition?
No, I mean,
Uh,
obviously, I was in a lot better shape back then, but um, so it wasn't like a fitness competition back then. But for some reason, our commander and our first sergeant thought it'd be a great idea to have us write an essay why we should be selected for this to be an extra in this Transformer movie. So I
huh.
write like the most beautiful, the best. I mean, lay it
Yeah.
all out there, talk
Yeah,
about my
yeah,
childhood, my
yeah.
Transformers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was picked. I was picked. I was
Yeah.
told I was
Yeah.
picked.
Oh
And
gosh.
then before I got to go, the commander decided, you know what? Because I was a staff sergeant. I was a young staff sergeant. Hadn't had the stripe on too long, but he decided he wanted to make this an airman opportunity. Senior airmen or
I would
below.
say so. What's the difference? So like, what's like, is that
So I was an
is an
85.
airman is an airman
Yeah.
higher up or something like that?
So yeah, I mean, we're all airmen, but like as far as rank goes, airman basic, airman first class, then senior airman, and then staff sergeant. So I was a staff sergeant.
Okay.
And he wanted it, if you just said that to begin with, hey, we're going to just senior airmen and below, you can't really get mad at that because it's nice to let the youngers do it, but get opportunities. But
Yeah.
he had us all in the running for this, and I was picked,
Yeah.
you know. And then he's like, "All right, well, we decided to make it an airman opportunity." They select a senior airman
Yeah.
to
Okay.
go do the spot. So this is my spot now. It's his spot.
Yeah.
Uh, he had to pay like $50. He had to actually,
Oh, you had to
um,
pay. You had to pay to get in.
yeah, it was a pay to play. You had to like join the Actors Guild or something. There was something you had to do
Oh, okay. You
to like
almost like
join just to be an actor.
yeah,
Yeah, just to
yep,
be allowed on
like on
probably some
set.
union thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
just to be an extra, I guess. So they go and they do the whole. It wouldn't have been a fun day anyway. Nothing is
it's probably like
more.
4 in the morning all the way until
Yeah,
midnight or
nothing is
something
more
like that.
exciting than forming up and loading
Yeah,
into cargo planes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but marching in formation and all that stuff like you wouldn't do up into the plane. But anyway, so he does that. Of course, later on, what kills my soul, I was okay with it. Like, all right, cool, he's doing it, whatever. It hurt, but later on, he told me he didn't like Transformers. He's made up all that stuff in his
He just,
essay.
oh my gosh.
He didn't even like it. Didn't even really
Yeah.
watch it. That scene they wound up pretty much cutting down anyway. From what I could see in the original Transformer.
Is this at the very beginning of the movie when Scorponok like attacks that base with the helicopter, or was it Blackout with
Yeah,
the helicopter?
well, from what I could see, the scenes that they filmed that I potentially would have been in were boiled down, and there was some of that at another base that you're talking about.
Okay.
But at ours, it wound up being like on the news, like on the TV in Witwicky's house. Like on the
Oh,
background, like of
okay.
you see these troop deployments.
Yeah.
So you couldn't even see.
Yeah. Who was in
You
it?
would never see me. I wouldn't have been in the credits. It just would have been cool to be on set.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to have that like, yeah, I was in that movie.
Yeah.
Where were you? Well, see that
In that little
teeny,
corner,
teeny
in that
screen
corner
in the
piece.
corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it wound up, or it just got cut all together.
Yeah.
But
Well, and this might have even been a piece where Shia LaBeouf's not going to be on there.
no,
Maybe Michael
it
Bay
would.
wouldn't have even been on there directing. Like maybe he would have had his like second director up there,
Yeah,
like
it would
just
have been like there's just someone. Yeah,
just
I'd even.
filming.
Yeah, just filming, just getting some like raw footage. There's no telling how
Yeah,
much raw footage they recorded, and then just
just
you
like
know,
left it on the
here's a
cutting room
bunch of this,
floor.
and he just like grabbed cuts of it. And yeah, none of the. I don't think any of the actual primary actors were there.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's not that big a loss. It just
yeah.
is one of those things like,
Could have been your claim to
dang
fame.
gum. Yeah, don't tell me. If they hadn't have
Yeah,
told me, hey, yeah, we're picking you,
yeah,
and then like literally like next day, like the commander decided,
yeah,
like yeah,
yeah.
who'd I piss off? I never was political enough
Yeah. You're
in the
probably like just like minding your p's and q's, and
they're
if
like,
you'd have
who?
been
Wait a minute, him?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, he does good work, but he's kind of an a-hole. He doesn't play the politics. I never played the politics stuff.
Yeah.
So,
So
but
that's your own fault.
hey, I did
So
my job.
yeah, you got it done. Gotcha. So which one of these I guess movies, because there's been 7 so far. Well, 8 if you count the 84 or 86 movie, which we didn't even talk about. Did you see that movie
Oh
86? Did you
yes.
see the
Oh
86 in
yeah.
theaters?
Yep. In
Okay.
theaters, I was like most kids around me and everyone in the theater, mortified
Yeah.
when Optimus Prime died.
Yeah.
I
Which
mean,
which that's a running theme in these
well,
Transformers movies.
and
Optimus does die a lot.
yeah, yeah. Now it's second half. Now I expect it. If he doesn't, I'm like, wait, he didn't die in this one. He
Yeah.
didn't come back.
Yeah.
Um, but not only that, like in the beginning of that first movie, the cartoon Transformers the movie, I think that's what it was
Yeah, that's what
called,
it's
right?
called. Yeah. Epic soundtrack.
Um, yeah, it was epic soundtrack. Um, Many of the beloved characters got killed right away.
Yeah.
You know, um,
And
several
why did
characters
they do that? I mean, I know the answer, but why?
to make kids cry. That's what
Oh,
to
it's
this
just
day I
okay.
think that's what they wanted to make us cry.
Oh gosh. Okay. I
They
was gonna
wanted
say
to devastate. They wanted to
they
try
want to
to.
make more toys. They want to make more
They want
toys
to
of
make
these
more
new.
toys. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we wound up with Hot Rod is cool, but I never was a big fan of Rodimus because that and even Hot Rod kind of. I mean, he's the reason why Optimus died. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't make him the leader after that and then expect kids to go buy that dang toy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's tarnished.
It's his fault. Yeah.
It's his fault.
It really
Stay out
should.
of the way, Hot Rod. Stay out of this, Hot Rod. I mean, how many?
He got told. Yeah.
You know,
Even
Cub told
yeah.
him.
Cub told him that's Prime's fight.
Yeah, Hot Rod did good up until that point. He did
That's only
good
the first like
vibing.
10 minutes. He did
Yeah,
good up until that point.
he did good up to that point, but he did good seeing the Decepticons. And he's up on Lookout Mountain,
Yeah.
and he has those cool guns that were in
Yeah. They
his
were inside of his like
their
exhaust.
part. Yeah,
As part of his
and he's like,
yeah.
so he unleashes a little firestorm on those Decepticons and makes them, kind of gives the Autobots a fighting chance
Yeah.
till Prime arrives. Prime was this, and I think he was killing Decepticons by just running them down.
Well, yeah,
'Cause they were,
he was mowing him down. He's running him over. He like runs
oh,
over he runs over the bug and runs over his head. I think in
yeah,
that movie.
there was a. I got to rewatch that movie because there was a lot of destruction,
It's
death and
epic.
destruction in it. But that's the other thing that's missing in the Bay and On movies is Optimus Prime's laser rifle.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing where they all have built-in guns. I mean, Prime, he always had this big laser rifle,
Yeah.
right? This big gun. I mean, he wielded it one hand, but like in the movie, the first cartoon, like after he is done running down people
Yep.
under that epic song, "You Got the Touch," which
Yeah.
it's just crazy that song's playing. I mean, I still to this day don't understand it, but I like the song. It's
It's a good
just
song.
weird to have that playing while he's like killing these Decepticons, but
Yeah.
you know. And then he like launches up and just starts mowing them down with
Yeah.
this laser rifle. Just like kills them all.
Yeah.
And then goes and fights Megatron. It's
Yeah, and he
like,
goes and
give
like
me a
wrecks
break.
Megatron.
Yeah.
And this is like in that movie, you're talking about like people getting, I say people, the Transformers getting murdered and killed.
Murder,
Like
death, killed.
whenever, yeah, murder, death, kill. Whenever he rolls in, he tells the Dinobots to kill Devastator, or or I think he says destroy Devastator, but like
Yeah.
he's
It's
straight
like
up he's
no holds barred.
yeah yeah
Yeah.
he's not like, hey, we got to defend
Yeah.
Autobot City. He's like, no, kill them.
Yeah.
Kill these Decepticons. Yeah.
Yeah.
He either says kill or destroy or eliminate. It's something like that. He
Yeah.
says something pretty final about
There was
Devastator.
definitely, I don't know who wrote that movie, but there was definitely some switch that flipped it
And they're
in
and they
these writers, and they were like, no Transformer dies. Keep it G-rated or click PG-13.
yeah, a lot of
Death, murder,
Transformer.
kill.
Yeah. Well, and there's also like swearing in the movie.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
yeah,
swearing.
yeah. I think Spike and
Yeah, like,
says that.
well, he
Yeah,
says
there's some words.
yeah, he hits him with the S bomb, I think.
Yeah,
He
so
says
not only did I learn about life and death, but I learned a bunch of curse words in this movie. Kids, parents were dropping us off thinking this was a safe movie.
yeah. And
But PTS, most of us have PTSD to this day
yeah.
because of seeing what happened in
And,
that movie.
and yeah, and he
No
does.
joke. I probably needed counseling.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that would be something I'd almost like to experience. Like, I've seen that movie, and I actually have seen that movie in theaters, but like I saw it countless times whenever I was a kid. So it's you kind of get desensitized to Optimus
Yeah.
getting killed.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and it was like one of those like drawn out deaths too.
Yeah.
He won the battle.
Yeah.
The fight, but then he dies on the. They don't even like bother trying to operate him. On
He
him.
dies
It's
on
like
yeah.
weird.
He dies
He
on the
dies on the
operating
table.
table.
I don't think it is like looking at him. I don't think. Who was the medic? What
Well,
was his
that
name?
would have been a Perceptor probably,
No, not Perceptor. They actually had an ambulance.
or like
I can't
Ratchet.
remember his name. Yeah, and he was responsible for like fixing
Yeah.
robots.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That would have
But
been Ratchet, I guess.
but it seemed like if memory serves, they just all stood around and watched him die. It was just kind of
Yeah.
like, and then all of a sudden this Matrix things comes out, and you're like, okay, what's going on here? And then he wants to give it to Ultra Magnus. And I'm like, okay, Ultra Magnus.
It's the guy that
He's
kind of looks
another-
like Prime, like he kind of has
looks
the
like
same.
the toy itself, like is Optimus Prime, just white,
Yeah.
and with a trailer that goes around him.
Some little
But I'm
battle
thinking-
armor.
I'm thinking I don't really like Ultra Magnus, but at least he's a truck, another cab over or whatever. But then
Yeah.
freaking Hot Rod catches the Matrix before it hits the floor.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, just throw. He's the first one to touch it. Of course, it's gonna go. It's gonna need to only work for him after that. Like it's not.
Oh, it's whoever first.
I think
touched
it's
it.
whoever
like,
grabbed it first.
yeah.
It's
It's
like-
it's like a dibs.
Have you seen the YouTube Dr. Smooth?
Dr. Smooth.
YouTube clips?
I think so. I think I have.
So he does these edits
Yeah.
off the original G1 and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And,
Okay. I
where
think I have
Prime
seen some of these.
kids were so devastated by Optimus Prime dying in that movie. They had to bring him back in this when the series continued,
Yeah,
and
they bring him back
Doctor.
multiple times, and he's usually evil. He's usually a bad
Well,
guy.
yeah, he came. Yeah, he came back. The who
And
are those creatures with the multiple heads created
the
all the Transformers supposedly.
yeah, I was thinking not the Junkions. There's some I was gonna say Terracons or something like that, but they're not even
No,
that.
man,
The
I
the
can't
Quint the
believe
Quintessons. Is it Quintessons? Yeah, yeah.
Quintessons, whatever they are. They and I never understood how these things made the
Guilty.
transform. Yeah, how they make the
Guilty.
Transformers. Um, they reanimate Optimus Prime,
Yeah.
but made him like totally evil.
Yeah.
And like he just totally just wrecks
Everybody.
Rodimus. It is one of my favorite scenes where he just is like he like bear hugs him and just starts like squeezing him and you just see Rodimus's chest like going
It's like starts caving in.
cracking open. He's just like yeah, he's gonna rip the Matrix right out of this boy right here, you know. But then like he kind of fights it and comes to his senses because that's one thing that's missing from all these movies is like I'm kind of scared of Optimus in these movies.
He's
Like
kind of
at
a
any
jerk.
time,
He's kind of
yeah,
a
he's
jerk
a
most of
jerk.
the time.
He's a jerk. He's an a-hole. In the cartoon series,
He's noble.
he was like ultimate noble. You know, was always gonna sacrifice himself first. Always gonna protect the humans, all that stuff, any life. Yeah, in the movies, he's like a jerk.
yeah.
Um, you know, and he'll have like these small little redeemer moments, like, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be good."
But yeah.
You know, like yeah, you were a jerk the whole movie. But yeah, he comes to senses and then you know, flies that ship with the into the with the spores into the sun, into the star or whatever. Later on, some humans randomly go pull him out of there
Yeah, and then
before
he's gonna come back
comes
again.
back and he's yeah, comes back, but he's good now. But um anyway, Dr. Smooth takes these clips and redoes the voices on it. It's like epic. And like I just remember one scene where he's like looking at Hot Rod and he's asking him, you know, who's left? And Hot Rod's telling him all the Transformers that have died, and he's like, you know, and he's like, hey, if you'd have given
The Matrix.
the Matrix to Ultra Magnus like I wanted,
I
none
think.
of this
Oh,
would have
okay.
happened.
I think I have seen. I think I have seen. I know exactly what you're talking about. I have seen that clip.
Yeah. He just starts renaming all these
If you can,
all these. If you'd have given the Matrix to Ultra Magnus like I wanted,
none of this would have happened.
none of this would have happened.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh yeah, because doesn't he just start like? Well, I was gonna say I may be confusing it with something else. Doesn't he start asking like like where's Jazz or where's
Yeah.
Ratchet? And they're like dead,
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 Prime.
dead.
My friends, dead.
Oh gosh. But
This
yeah,
is your fault.
yeah, it's
Rod.
all your fault.
And
Oh.
and Hot Rod just looks up like, yeah, I'll never be the leader you were.
So you're right.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, he
man.
was a punk. I liked him better as Hot Rod, but they were trying to usher in a new generation of toys, like you said. It's all about
Yeah.
that dollar.
Got to get that. Do you ever have any of the G2 toys, the weird color variations or any of that stuff? Were you ever into
No,
that?
no, yeah, I was getting a little older, but my younger brother had some of those. He had like
Okay.
Blur, and
Okay.
I think he had a version of Optimus, like a Headmaster version.
Yeah.
The Headmaster stuff I never really watched that much either.
Yeah, that's whenever Transformers starts getting a little bit weird with the little headmasters and target masters, which if you're not familiar with that, they haven't quite done that, and we might talk about it a little bit with the new movie because like they feel like they're almost hinting at headmasters is coming up or like target masters or
Mhm.
something with this
Something.
new movie. But yeah, the headmasters, and you probably know more about it than I do, but it's like the humans basically are almost like pilots for the Transformer, and they actually sit
Mhm.
inside of the head, and they can like be inside of that body, and then whenever the Transformer transforms into its robot mode, they pop onto the head, or there'll
Yeah,
be a
they are
target. Or there'll be a target master, and they can turn into like a gun, or I don't know if they can
yeah.
turn into a sword, but like
Yeah,
somehow
they have like an exosuit, and they'll either
yeah,
turn into head or yeah, some type of weapon
which is
or
some kind of yoga thing, because like they're getting all folded up into there to make that head, right?
I think they just get it like into a seat, like it becomes like a seat around
Oh,
them, and they
okay,
can
okay.
just,
And they could
you
just
know,
be in there. But it's basically like they're almost like Power Rangers inside a Megazord or something like that.
I think that's probably what they were trying to go for. They're like, we need to cash in on this
On
Power
the Power
Ranger
Rangers thing.
type stuff. and uh, and I don't remember why the Transformers needed them. Something happened where they needed
It was like
little extra help.
yeah, maybe their brain was no good. They
Yeah,
got bad
something.
brains.
They get them bad
They got the
brains.
bad brains. So,
Them circuits are fried.
so talking about the headmasters, what did you think about the new movie? Because you've seen it, right?
I saw it. I actually like it more than like the Bay verse
All of them,
Transformers.
all of
All
them,
of them. Well, I mean, the one with
including
Mark
Bumblebee.
Wahlberg was
Okay,
good. Um, and actually, I like the first one too, uh, except for the way the Transformers transform. They transform in the Bay movies like just so blurry, like you can't tell what the hell's going on.
yeah,
It's just like it's like that's
yeah.
nothing to me.
It's just
You
like
know,
all these like gears and
I grew up
circuitry.
with these big things, forming into a truck or whatever.
Yeah,
They could have done it a little better than that, but and then all the Decepticons, they all look the same to me in those movies. It's like
they're
the
usually
robot modes,
yeah, they're
they
like
look
gray.
like yeah, they look
Yeah,
they're not very distinguishable. So I don't like that part. So these throwback movies like Bumblebee, I liked it.
yeah.
Even though it was just Bumblebee, it was like there was a few. Who was at the beginning?
At the very
There's
beginning, you
just
have
more.
that battle on Cybertron. So you've got like Wheeljack at the very beginning, and then
Yeah,
you've got
so, I mean, there's a few
Soundwave.
things. There's a few things. Yeah, but it was primarily about Bumblebee. I like
Yep,
that because it's like the retro time period,
yep.
and so it kind of seemed like it was a little like a not really a reboot, but a kind of a reset into what had happened, kind of in the era that it was like the best for me,
Yeah.
as far as Transformers go. And then this latest movie, I never watched any of the Beast Wars stuff. I've seen a few of them, so I never really understood the concept. Like they're in the future, but
Yeah, that was
the
it's a little odd. The
the
Beast
CGI
Wars.
on if I remember the Beast Wars CGI was it was like some type of computer stuff, right? It wasn't
Yeah,
like cartoon
it was all
drawings.
yeah, it was all
Yeah.
computer generated. Which I mean, it's one of those things where because like I grew up on Beast Wars because I think Beast Wars came out in like 97, 98, 99,
Hmm.
something like that.
Yeah.
So that was like right at like whenever I was 4, 5, 6, 7, like that stuff started like really hitting pretty good
Yeah.
whenever you're growing up into that. Same with like
So
Star
that's
Wars
like
getting re-released, like all that stuff was just like prime. Where
yeah.
like now
So
that's
the Maximals and the Beast guys are like your like
yeah,
what you grew up with
that's what yeah
basically.
yeah, and
The heavy
I had
hitters.
a lot of them. I had a lot of Beast
Yep.
Wars.
Yeah. So yeah, I tried to watch a few of them. I think I watched one where there was something about Optimus Prime was in it somehow. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was going in the Matrix or what was happening, but and I was just like, I have no idea what's going on up in these
Well,
Beast Wars.
and they we might be getting into a little bit of spoiler talk, but in the original Beast Wars, the story is that I think they're like 4 or 5 thousand years into the future.
Mm.
I think if I'm not mistaken, or maybe they're in the past. Either way, like
So,
somehow yeah, I mean I guess it's either past or it's future.
yeah, I
So
couldn't figure out if they were in a parallel universe or where the heck
but
they were,
but
but
the original Transformers are in there, and it kind of gets revealed that Optimus Primal is named after Optimus Prime because they all run into them at
they're all
some point.
primes. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like kind of almost in a comatose state, like inside the ship. And I think it's because something to do with like their spark or their matrix is out, but they're in the ship. And the other thing that's weird is they're all like way bigger than the beasts. Like the beasts are like way smaller than the actual Transformers in the from the original show, which is kind of odd. But it's like I said, it's something to do with either the Beast
Yeah.
Wars got sent back in time, or uh,
So the
or
G1 Transformers were
yeah,
in some type of arc in
yep,
a coma.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's something what I saw, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I just want to see the like real Transformers.
yeah.
And there's these beast things going on. I was like, I didn't know if they were versions of them
That's
or what was going on.
because they're all named after him. So like Optimus Primal is named after Optimus Prime, and then Megatron, like the dinosaur, is named after Megatron, the original
Yeah,
leader of the G1.
yeah,
So it's yeah, but like I said, it's either something where like they're actually from the future, but somehow they're trying to go to the past and they like don't go far enough back, or they go
yeah.
too far. Something like that happens.
Something
But
happens. Yeah, this new movie, I liked it. I mean, there was probably a solid 15 minutes that could be cut out just for pacing.
Yeah.
That to me wasn't necessarily the story they were trying to tell. Like, maybe it was like some world building or something, but to me, it wasn't needed with humans. I just want to get to the Transformers mainly, but you need some of that at the beginning. But there was an excessive amount of it to set these characters up, which I really didn't have much buy-in on the human characters, like
I
emotionally.
that's what I was gonna
It
say.
was kind of like towards the end, sort of, but I can't remember their names. So
Yeah, the yeah, I don't, and I think it's a problem with like these Transformers movies that they haven't been able to get like, even though Shia LaBeouf is crazy, he was still pretty charismatic in the
yeah,
original
yeah,
trilogy. And I don't think they've like, and Mark Wahlberg is like, he's Mark Wahlberg every
yeah.
time. You know, he's not. You're not getting. It's like whenever you get The Rock to be in your movie, you're not gonna get The Rock to play. You know, he's not gonna play like some serious character actor like, a Daniel Day Lewis or something like that would.
Yeah.
You're hiring The Rock. It's the same way with Mark Wahlberg. You're hiring Mark Wahlberg to be Mark Wahlberg. Like, he's not gonna sink his teeth into a role in the same way as like a,
I mean, I liked what he did there, but I do like the Easter egg to Marky Mark in the new movie.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, they do reference him, right?
that was pretty. Yeah, that was
Did they
pretty
did they
good.
say that was it Marky Mark left was he in the Funky Bunch? Is that what that's called?
Yeah,
Mark
he left like whatever the
the
Funky Bunch.
yeah.
Yeah, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. And they're like he left the Funky Bunch to be an actor,
Yeah.
and
Oof, gosh.
I was just
Uh
cracking up with like some.
yes.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, and you do need some humans in it because I mean, Transformers always had some human
Yeah.
interaction in it. But the maybe the next one, the characters will be in there. I don't know where they're going from this one. I don't know if we're doing spoilers in this podcast, but
Yeah. So we can talk about our overall thoughts. I'll say that I didn't like the movie, and I thought it was mainly just because of the human aspect, like,
it's the,
and because if you're somebody like me that grew up with Beast Wars, Optimus Primal has, if he has 20 lines in that movie, like, I feel like that's me saying he has a lot of lines. That I
yeah,
think I'm over saying he has 20
it's
lines.
it started out strong
Yeah, but
opening.
yeah, that's probably when he has his most amount of dialogue. Air Razor she has quite a few lines. Cheetor and Rhinox get screwed in this movie.
Yeah,
Like Cheetor gets, I think, 2 lines total. If Rhinox has 1 line, that would be surprising. And
yeah. I
then
mean, the
and you just never see their robot modes either. That's the other thing too. It's not like,
barely at the end.
yeah, and they, like I said, that I so you were talking about like maybe they should have cut 15 minutes out. Like, okay, like, cut the 15 minutes out, and then
Give us more
maybe
robot, more Maximals.
give us some more Maximals. Um, and
That's true because I mean, this was supposed to be like a beast
it
Maximal
said
movie,
Rise of the Beast. There was
Rise of the Beast, and in reality, we could have had it a whole movie without them, and it would have been about the same, pretty
yeah,
much. Um, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, they were kind of interesting to me a little bit, but like I said, I didn't have any real history with them, no buy-in on them, so
yeah,
I don't know if they were just trying to lure the newer. They were trying to lure my generation in with your
yeah,
generation
yeah,
and try to combine to get some more ticket sales,
yeah.
and it's probably going to work initially, but we'll see how. Um, I mean, I don't think the critics like the movie. We'll
Well, I
see
gotta
how
say,
the.
the critics didn't like. I don't know if the critics have liked any of these movies
Well, that's probably true. But I will say this about the Transformers. I think they transformed better in
in
this
this one.
in this movie. Yeah, they looked better to me. I mean, they kind of have that same look once they're in robot form that Bay had, very similar. But the transformations didn't seem as like blurry to me.
Yeah,
They were
or
they were quick. They
yeah,
were quick, but when they formed, like Optimus Prime formed into that, the iconic cab
cab
over
over.
that we want, that I want.
Yeah.
Um, and oh, you had Mirage. He was freaking fantastic.
So that's the other thing. Okay, so if we're talking about like OG characters as to like what they
Mhm.
are, um, Mirage is supposed to be a like an F1 car, right?
Yeah,
And then Jazz is supposed to be a Porsche. So it's like, is this supposed to be like a
I think
combo?
Jazz was a white Porsche, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a white and blue Porsche.
I think Jazz got killed at the very beginning of the original movie,
Yeah,
didn't he?
but we're back in the past though. So we're back in
Yeah.
'95 or whatever.
Oh
So
yeah,
he
yeah.
should
This
he
is
should
set
be
before
alive.
that. He's still
He
alive.
should be
Yeah, that's the
alive.
other thing. I don't know continuity wise who's around. It's like I keep looking for Sideswipe. Sideswipe, he's not there. Like these other vehicles. Hound was like a Jeep or something.
Yeah,
They seem to kind of take some liberties with what they could be,
yeah,
and the Transformers. They took the images of these vehicles when they originally crashed there, so they could
yeah. On
blend
the
in.
arc.
That was
Yep.
the whole point. So
Robots
I
in
could see
disguise.
them. Yeah, so I could see them kind of reforming, but I don't know how that exactly. They don't really explain that. Are these guys like liquid metal, like the Terminator or something?
Yeah, just
They're
able
like
to.
they're like a bio metal that is solid most of the time. But I mean, sometimes you see like old parts falling off of some of these transformers, like they're built out of old parts that they had to
Yeah,
use.
yeah,
And you see all these old parts falling off. It's like,
yeah.
why do you have old parts falling off? I don't understand that. But
Yeah, that's always one of
um,
the things where if they get like injured, and I think they even did it in the cartoon a little bit. Like if they were in a bad fight, they would be like, "Can you still transform?" And they'd be like, "Well, I can try." And then they'd be like, "Oh," they'd be all like kind of
yeah,
yeah, they kind of
like
like
you were
force them.
saying,
They'd be like kind of force themselves into it. It's like
yeah,
you sprain your ankle, you're like, "Can you walk?" It's like I can try. It's kind of
yeah,
the same
yeah.
thing.
So there must be some type of like, it's probably like nanotech type molecules where they can control their own molecules to kind of form themselves a certain
Yeah,
way. But the toys, they were just rigid,
yeah,
and so
yeah,
that's why
yeah.
the cartoons look like that. But so yeah, but he was cool. Bumblebee was cool. I really like Bumblebee in this one. Um, he's
I
kind of
wish she would talk. Like that's the only thing that I'm like. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
why they're stuck on that
Yeah, like
where he got
for
Danny's voice box and
he just can't talk. Like and
yeah,
and they can't give him a new one.
yeah,
They can go
no.
fix all these they can fix all these transformers, but
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
sometimes, or they just watch him
yeah,
die,
they just
which
they-
happens in this movie too. They just like,
yeah,
someone, I don't want to spoil it. Someone dies, and
yeah.
they're just kind of like, oh no, I'll get you for that. You just,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you go lay him on a rock or whatever. It's like, well,
Go lay
you
him on a
think
rock.
he can come back?
Yeah,
Everyone's like, I don't know.
yeah. They got to bust
Well,
out
let's
that.
go over here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I guess if we want to get
So
into a little bit of spoiler talk, where do you think that this franchise is going? Because there is something that happens in this movie, and I'll flash a spoiler tag, like I'll put it at the bottom right here. So
yeah,
if anybody clicks into this,
yeah. I
like
mean,
yeah, you're getting spoiled, and we're what 5 days
yeah,
into the
it's
release.
been out it's after the first weekend, so I think spoilers can
Okay,
happen. At this point, if you people had to click off, they click off now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I am super excited for the what happened on the ending of
Oh,
this.
yeah.
If this is
So
what you're talking
yeah, yeah,
about,
we're talking about the ending with the
the guy, I
it's
can't
this
remember his name.
but it's the guy that always plays like military man or like
Yeah.
secret agent like grizzled secret agent guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because he was in
Oh,
House
so
of Cards, right? Like that's the
yeah,
guy.
he was in House of Cards. Yeah. So so the main character,
His name's
we
like
should probably
it's like Anthony Ramos or something. Like I think Anthony Ramos might be his real name.
we should
Uh,
pull up what his character's name is.
yeah, let's see. I'll pull up the old IMDb real quick. But either way, and then we can get both their names. Let's see. Rise of the Beast. Yeah, it's
Rise of the Beast is killing it at the box office. We should
okay.
look at that here later.
Okay, his name is Noah Diaz.
Noah.
Yeah.
Noah. I don't know why I can't remember Noah. It's Noah's Ark. Maybe I can remember that. That's his character name,
Yeah,
Noah.
Noah. Yeah, his
Okay.
real name's Anthony Diaz.
Yeah, so Noah, and he kind of got. At first, he was annoying as a character to me in the beginning of it, and then towards the end, I kind of liked him more and more. So maybe his character arc, it'll get better, but or be a more likable, at least for me, character. So at the
Yeah, here we
very
go.
end, his whole thing is he can't land a job,
Yeah.
because
It-
he's
Does he have a
he's
criminal
ex.
record or something like an ex-con? I
Doesn't
can't
look.
remember.
That's the other thing, like stupid.
He can't. We can't ever get a job because he
He
like
can't
goes
ever
to,
get a job.
and he's former
Um,
military, right? Something like
yeah,
that. Like he got like discharged. Is that what it
Yeah, it
is?
doesn't say it was dishonorable or nothing, but it says like he had trouble fitting in, so he got some type of discharge. Maybe it's dishonorable, maybe it's just a general, but
Yeah.
they don't actually say. So as far as you know, he's a stand-up guy,
Yeah.
trying to take care of his younger brother that's got some sickle cell disease or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, of
And
course, a single mom.
his
It's
mom's
that
single
trope of
mom.
the single mom,
Yep.
you know, and he can't get a job
Yeah.
because some reason they keep calling his old commanding officer, which I've never had happen when I applied for jobs after the military. No one ever called my old CO.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, here's my DD 214. Of course, mine was honorable, you know,
Yeah.
discharge, all that. So I guess they don't have to go beyond that. But anyway, yeah, he can't get a job. But at the end, he's trying to get jobs again after
Yeah.
saving the world.
Yep.
You know, he's
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah.
trying to
So
get a security job at some like it looks like some hole in the wall place, you know, some
yeah,
warehouse.
yeah. And
Starts doing a little
the guy's name is Michael Kelly, and he played Agent Burke.
Agent Burke. So I
Yeah.
thought this was yeah. So you don't know it's you think he's
I
doing an
figured Sector
interview?
7. Like cause he's
Yeah,
doing the.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I thought it was
you
Sector
know,
7.
so it turns out it's not a real interview, and this guy's a secret agent of some
Yeah.
kind and wants to recruit him because he knows he saved the world.
Yep.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Um, I thought he was gonna be Sector 7, but and he goes through the secret door. It's like, hey, look at this secret door.
And he goes in like,
You just stand there,
yeah, and
and
he
you
goes
see
in like
like some
turns.
looks like an alien spaceship
Yeah.
and some like huge warehouse things, a bunch of stuff being worked on. You're like, what? What? And he's just like, Noah's standing there like, and he goes, hey, you know, think about it. Hands him his card, and Noah gets the card, and he flips it over.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe, Yo Joe.
I was like, I stood up in the theater and I was like, go Joe. And I look around and everyone's like, shut up, sit down. I didn't. I didn't really do that,
Yeah,
but I really wanted to.
you go, Yo Joe. Oh
Yo,
gosh.
Joe. Yeah. Um,
Which this isn't
but
surprising because I say it's not surprising
it's
because Transformers has been crossing over with GI Joe at least on the toy line. So maybe they
in
were
the
planting
toy line,
seeds. Maybe they're planting seeds for this
planting
whole
the
time,
seeds.
and it was
Yeah.
right in front of us.
I think there was some comic book stuff that they crossed over, but I never remember like an actual cartoon where they did. Maybe there is one out there, but I mean, it's in the same time period. It makes sense. What Hasbro must own both of them,
Yeah, of course.
right? So,
Yep.
um, I mean, it's much better than Sector 7
Yeah. Well, at least it's
because
like
they were like the weakest. Like they're based out of the Hoover Dam or whatever.
yeah,
You know, it just doesn't make any sense. But GI Joe, yeah, that's an organization I get behind.
yeah,
Hopefully, they can actually do better with a restart on those movies and not what the GI Joe movies were misfires up
yeah,
until this point.
yep.
I mean, even
Which
Snake
he had
Eyes, like
I heard Snake Eyes. That was one I didn't see. I saw GI Joe, and then I saw Retaliation, which is basically like Retaliation was almost a soft reboot. You know, because who did they bring in? The Rock. They're
yeah,
like, we got to bring in The
and
Rock.
I think he gets killed in that one, doesn't he? So
No,
it's like,
I don't know if he gets killed. Channing Tatum gets killed, which is what
yeah,
Duke?
they like the main guys get killed. I don't even remember
Because that's
because
his
it was
name,
like
right? Is it
so.
Duke? Is that the
I
main
don't
GI
know.
Joe guy?
I don't know. Yeah, well, yeah, Duke. I don't know who they are as far as those characters go in those movies. Um, but maybe they can redo it and do it like less crazy,
Hmm.
a little more grounded. Because they did allude to they're already in a war.
Yeah,
So I don't
yeah,
know if they're talking about Cobra, if they're talking about an exterior off-planet
yeah.
thing
Like
that's going
off-world
on.
threat.
Yeah, because he kind of alluded it might be off-world. But they seem to know about the Transformers were already there, so they're tracking them.
Yeah,
They know these things are out there. I'm sure who didn't notice Unicron popping up out of the sky?
out of the
They all
sky.
thought it,
Yeah, coming through. Was it? Were they on
they
Machu
all thought it was a
Picchu?
volcano. Yeah, they all thought it was a volcano erupting.
Yeah, no, it's just
But
Planet Eater. And I kind of think they wasted Unicron in this movie. Like, you have him showing up, and like he really doesn't do anything.
yeah,
Like
yeah, he releases a bunch of like Terracons, which they all look the same. It's just like fodder robots that
yeah,
they look the same. They're probably this. If you slowed down the CGI, stop motion, I bet it's like the same one,
the
like
same
cut and
asset.
pasted everywhere,
Yep.
and they just like plowing through them like paper robots. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just nonsense. Scourge, he didn't really. He looked like those other Decepticons where you can't really tell what the heck he
He's
is.
just kind of gray, and he is like a
Yeah,
little rusty.
he
The only
turned
thing
into a he turned into a rusty truck.
he almost turned into
I
like
thought,
a almost like a tow truck type thing.
yeah, wasn't he a jet in the original one?
Scourge. It kind of
Yeah.
depends. So Scourge. Oh, yeah, it kind of depends because Scourge, at least in the '86 movie, like he's one of Galvatron's minions. He's one of
Mhm.
like the cone heads that gets converted into
Yeah.
Scourge and
So he was one of the
Cyclonus.
jets. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Scourge
He-
was the one that was like the boat. Like he was a jet, but he like looked like a boat as he
Yeah, they
transformed.
all look like flying boats after that because that just made too much sense to make them look like things that aren't really flying ships.
Yeah,
I
just like
guess
boats.
I don't understand why they look like that, and they made Galvatron look like a modern howitzer, but
Yeah,
um, I think because they realized like there was a trend where they're not going to be able to sell this
the
Megatron
gun,
toy that looks like a
like
gun.
a Walther
He looked like
P-38.
a realistic gun,
Yeah,
type of thing. So, I think they should just turn him into a tank or something.
yeah. And the tank thing always makes sense. Like I'm kind of I don't know, apologist probably isn't the right word, but like whenever I buy G1 Megatrons, I'm like, it's got to turn into a Walther P-38 as as
As G1.
yeah, it's got to be G1 if I'm doing it. Like I don't like if it's a tank, forget about it.
Yeah.
I'm good. But Galvatron turning into the turret, he said it's a howitzer.
Yeah, I
Modern
don't know what modern,
yeah, it's like
space howitzer.
space
Space howitzer.
yeah, space cannon. Um,
Yeah.
oh, but to answer your question, Scourge he's kind of like this like catch-all name because sometimes Scourge will also be like alternate version of Optimus where he's like a bad version of Optimus, but they don't want to call
Oh,
him but they don't want to call him Nemesis Prime. They just want to call
I
him
was gonna say
Scourge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll call him Scourge instead.
Yeah, it might just be one of those like nicknames or something that
Yeah,
you get branded with when you become that guy.
become the bad guy,
You know,
become the
you
main
become
bad guy.
that bad guy. You're a Scourge. You're like the number one baddie under Megatron.
Yeah,
As long as you're around, I guess, because that's the thing. Like Optimus was pretty much a weak punk at the beginning,
yeah.
and
He talks a lot
he
of crap to Scourge, and then Scourge like
he
puts him
talks
down.
crap, and he gets put down really quick. And I was like, "Get up, Optimus! What's going on?"
Yeah,
Oh, you should be getting really mad, Optimus, right now. This is where you want to bust out some power,
some some energy axe type of
But then
stuff.
at the very end, he just like beats the hell out of Scourge.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
with the help of Noah Diaz
he did have Noah.
in his headmaster
He had
Mirage.
his exosuit,
Yeah,
which was kind of cool. I kind of in my mind I was thinking, well, Mirage is actually helping him like move around and stuff
yeah,
because Mirage was so damaged he couldn't transform anymore, so he formed the rest of himself into an exosuit.
yeah,
So he had to be still, obviously he's still like functioning,
yeah,
mentally because he's back in the end of the movie. But so I was like, how does he know how to use his exosuit? Well, Mirage probably helping him out,
yeah.
flying him around, helping him. But the human has to save Optimus
That's what I was
because
gonna say. It's like that was the other kind of like Optimus is getting sucked
yeah,
into Unicron's whatever mouth gaping maw or whatever you want to call it,
yeah,
and
mouthful.
yeah, the mouth and Noah Diaz comes up and like grabs him. I'm like, no, it's like he could like this like if you're going by like weight mass proportion thing, this thing is sucking up Optimus, but then this human is able to come in and
With
like
like
and like
his his feet like locked down and like
yeah
they
yeah
locked
okay
down, and then he had the thrusters.
yeah
You know,
okay. But
and
eventually,
then Optimus holding on to his axe, like, let me go. Well,
yeah,
Optimus could have just went poof and let himself go,
yeah,
but he didn't actually want to die.
yeah, he wanted
I,
that way if he does die, it's like, hey, this guy killed me. It's his fault. I would have
yeah,
survived.
yeah, he's, um,
But then Optimus Primal does grab him and bring him in and reel him in or whatever, which at that point I was like, okay, that I'm good with that. Like
finally,
you at least have
Primal came in
and
to
doing
save the
something.
day.
Yeah, doing
Uh,
something
I kept waiting for Optimus Prime to bust out the Matrix to
to
stop
light
Unicron,
the darkest hour.
light the dark star. I don't even know if the Matrix actually exists at this point in this universe.
Well, the Matrix always looked like crap in the Bayverse. It was like
They called it
a
like an Allspark or some crap.
oh yeah, it was an Allspark, but
And I don't
it
think
looked
we
like a
ever actually
dagger
got,
type thing.
yeah, I don't think we ever actually got a real Matrix.
But it
You
was
know, I don't
inside of his
know.
chest, so it's like,
Was it? Yeah, it's like an all spark.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because they got to be stupid.
Yeah,
Change it.
got to change the continuity.
Change it just to change it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to sell an all spark toy. You could probably sell a Matrix.
There is a
You
version
know.
of there is a big version of a Matrix that you can get. So I think you need to look into that and have it have it underneath your
Yeah, I'm gonna
Star
look
Wars
into that.
stuff.
Well, at least Unicron wasn't like the actual core of the Earth this time.
Yeah, because that
So
I think that was something that was in the last night. So I read about that and I was like, I'm glad I never saw that movie.
I didn't understand what was going on with that movie. I got to rewatch it, but might be
Apparently,
best forgotten.
apparently it's pretty confusing. So I think even if you watch it and like try to take your notes and have your pen and paper out, I don't know if it's gonna you know
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna make it all the
Um,
way through. But I guess
but
so.
overall, I did like the this latest movie. So if you haven't seen it out there, I'd recommend going and see it. My bar is set pretty low with these
Yeah,
movies nowadays. Any movie coming out of Hollywood right now, but um, I thought it was a good popcorn flick.
yeah.
Much better than these last two movies. Bumblebee and this one are much better than what we've gotten.
Yeah,
You know,
I,
with the
I will I
previous
will agree with that. I just had a little bit higher expectations just with the Maximal side. I was like,
Maximals.
so they in my opinion they got wasted a little bit, or at least they but I don't know. Maybe next movie, we can get a little bit more Maximals. We can get some Dinobot in there, which Dinobot is a character. It's not the actual Dinobot. It's just Dinobot.
Mm.
Dinobot on his own, which he's a Velociraptor, so maybe he'll show up. Um, but we'll see. And then you'll have the GI Joe thing, which I'm curious if that means that that's going to be like Transformers cross GI Joe, or like not
Just a
obviously,
GI Joe
or
standalone.
just a GI Joe standalone, and then like they're going to try to do what would this be called, like the Hasbro Cinematic Universe, and
Oh, that'd be awesome.
and bring in because I think they try to do that too with Battleship, like battle, like they could bring in.
Battleship. I actually like that movie.
Yeah,
It
that's the
was a
same
little
one. It's,
weird
it's a little
though.
weird. It's like aliens attacking battleships. So I mean, I will say that at least Hasbro, whoever they're getting to write these movies, at least gives them a little bit of free reign to try new things. It may not work every time, but they at least can try new things. So
Yeah.
maybe this GI Joe thing will work out. I'd be like I said, just like you, I'd be curious who they get to pick like Duke and
Flint,
if they
Duke.
and of course your Cobra Commander. If he's, I feel like Cobra Commander is similar to Doctor Doom in the Marvel cinematic or in the Marvel universe, where like those are pretty weird characters. So you're probably not gonna.
Yeah.
You almost need a regular bad guy
Yeah.
that they can take out first before you bring in like Doctor Doom or Cobra
Yeah.
Commander, because Cobra Commander is just kind of a psychopath.
Yeah. You got to have like Destro in there doing a bunch of stuff first, or just some of the lowers
Yeah,
doing stuff. But we'll see.
yeah,
We'll see what happens. I mean, it all depends on the box office for this movie. Let's take a look at the box office real
yeah.
quick.
So
You got those
yeah,
numbers
so yeah,
up?
I pulled that up. So latest weekend, it looks like it got 61 million over the weekend. Um, and
I
then it
was
looks,
reading. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say 61 million for opening, international 18, so worldwide we're at 80. That's at least according to Box Office Mojo.
Mojo, I don't think they've updated their stuff.
Okay, this is just for June 9th, 10th, and 11th. So you do have today, and I guess it doesn't.
Um,
I guess it doesn't count Thursday, right?
yeah,
Uh,
because I was reading something and it was like much more than that. Let's see.
yeah, domestic domestic
Usually
weekend.
Box Office Mojo is like on it, but that is low compared to like this other article I read. And I'm trying to find it right now because the other article I read, it was like already almost at 200 million.
Maybe that's where they think it's gonna get 200 million. I feel like 200 million is pretty high. Let's see.
Um, so this is Variety magazine.
Okay.
Transformers Rise of the Beast ignites to 110 million at international box office, 170 million globally.
Really? Okay. So I guess they just haven't updated it.
They're saying the Rise of the Beast cost 200 million to make. Is that all? So
200
I mean,
million.
that's
So
you say that quick, but
yeah, I was gonna say 200 million. So you're looking at probably what, like 350 if it's like one
with
and a half.
advertising, yeah,
Yeah. like
But if they're already
or maybe
approaching the
300 million rather, not. So if they can get 300 million, anything above that should be gravy.
I would think they would need to hit like probably 650, 700 mil before they'll consider making another one, I bet.
To
What did
greenlit.
Bumblebee make?
Ooh, let's see. Bumblebee total box office. That one says 468 million on a 102 to 135 million-dollar production
At least they kept
budget.
the production a little bit leaner.
Yeah,
Um, and
yeah,
I think story wise, I think Bumblebee I had more investment in like the character or the human character
yeah.
aspect.
I liked Haley Steinfeld, and then
Yeah.
of course I like John Cena. John Cena can almost do no wrong in most of his action movies or any of his
Oh yeah.
movies. So yeah, so I'd almost be curious if they could somehow get it to where they can bring in Shia LaBeouf, Haley Steinfeld, and Mark Wahlberg, and this new
Yeah.
guy, this Anthony Ramos, if they can, maybe do a
I
crossover
don't,
event.
I don't know how, because like the Witwicky character that
Oh
they
yeah,
create,
but if we're
he's later on.
yeah, but if
Um,
we're also talking about
they had to do some time
yeah, I
travel.
was gonna say some time travel because I think they mentioned at some point in this one also, and I kind of was talking about it at the very beginning, or whenever we were talking about just Beast Wars, but I think they kind of referenced that that these beasts also traveled back in time. Like they traveled back in time, crash landed on Earth, and it was almost like they went back too far.
It went back too far.
They went back too far. Yeah, it's like Ash
I went back
in
too far.
yeah, it's like Ash in Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
He
I've
accidentally
slept too long.
slept too long. Uh, and he goes back in time to medieval times. So I kind
Oh
of think
yeah,
they
yeah.
reference that because I think it's the same thing where Optimus Primal is technically um, whatever you call it, like a not a
Time
descendant,
traveler.
not a descendant, but he's like an
He's like a
homage.
he's like a walking golem. Like he stole some Prime's brain patterns, and
Yeah,
I don't know. I still don't understand the Maximals, but um, I'm thinking 650, 700 is what they need to make. In
to get all the
today's
way.
market, I mean, it seems like in today's market, if a movie doesn't make a billion, it's kind of like not considered a huge success.
Yeah,
Whereas really in reality, if they can make 600 to 700, which maybe, I mean, it depends on how much it drops off this next weekend because you got Flash hitting.
oh yeah,
So
Flash is this weekend, and really, yeah, you've got the Flash, then you've got which we just had Spider Verse, then this one Transformers, and
pretty heavy
then
month.
yeah, it's a pretty. I kind of think there's bangers for this entire month. I'd have to go and look at the release schedule, but
I might have
um,
to go see Transformers again because I made the mistake of seeing it in 3D.
yeah, which that
Um,
means you probably paid a little bit extra, right?
Probably, but I mean, money's no object when it's time to go
Oh
see a
my
Transformers movie.
gosh,
You just get out the credit card and you swipe.
it's, man,
I'll be paying on this movie for the next 10 years. No, yeah, it's not that much, but like,
oh, you got
I,
Indiana
I,
Jones as well this month.
I generally, yeah. Oh, Indiana Jones. Oh man, this is a heavy hitting month.
Yeah, yeah.
When does Jones come out?
I think
Not
that'll
this.
be so. Indiana Jones comes out June 30th. So you've got the Flash this week. Um,
People
yeah,
are gonna be broke
be
this
broke.
month.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be broke. Transformers. Got the Flash. Then we got Jones.
yeah.
I didn't go see the Spider-Man movie, so I saved a little there.
Save a little bit on that one. So that one was good. And
But
then
these movies are gonna like sandbag each other.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing,
I'm thinking these are the same core audiences.
pretty much.
It's gonna be
And then in July you've got Tom Cruise coming in with Mission
Mission
Impossible.
Impossible. That
Yep.
one looks good.
And then the week after that you've got Oppenheimer and Barbie. Like
Poppy and Barbie.
those come out the same day. Like
So pretty much I'm gonna be at the movie theater every
every
weekend.
weekend. Yeah, it's gonna be and
I'm gonna start sneaking in candy.
oh, you definitely got to do that. Yeah, there's no shortage of
So it's probably gonna be I bet there's gonna be a fairly substantial drop off.
yeah,
That's my prediction. Hopefully they might not. They might only reach the Bumblebee numbers of
yeah.
around 450. Hopefully they can go past that because I'd like
They
to
can
see
get some
another Transformers.
if they could get some word of mouth going on it, they might be able to. And then even in August, you got the Meg 2, Gran Turismo, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yeah, none of
and
those look good.
Blue Beetle as well. So
Blue Beetle, yeah, that looks good.
it's you've got the you got
It's a
the
heavy summer, huh?
it's a heavy summer. Yeah, I think we're kind of like getting right to that point where we're 3 years post COVID, so you have all these movies that were just like kind of all back to back to back to back, or not, they all got delayed. So
Yeah.
um, so yeah, we're I think all these just kind of are all catching up.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yep.
So it could be one of
Well,
those things where it's a heavy summer this year, and then next year maybe it slows down a little bit. But we'll see. They gotta make their money back from all that COVID downturn that we had.
yeah, and they got to get people back in theaters because we all got used to streaming it
Streaming.
at home.
Yeah.
So, and people still want to do that
Yep.
because I know, well, the theater I was in, someone sitting to the back upper side,
Yeah.
I guess to the left of me as I'm looking at the screen,
Yeah.
was coughing the whole movie.
I hate that.
I mean, it was just to the point of like, why are you even in the movie? It was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was nonstop. At first, I thought I was like, they're choking on something, but it just
Yeah.
kept going the whole movie. And then I have the 3D. Do not go see it in 3D. I've forgotten why I stopped seeing movies in 3D because they're really not that good.
Yeah.
Avatar being the exception,
Yep.
probably
Yep.
because that one's filmed like with special 3D, like specifically for it.
Yeah.
This one seems like it was just made like after, like
Yeah,
an afterthought.
that post 3D
Yeah,
processing type thing, and it's
yeah.
yeah, it does kind of
So
suck.
I kept like the first 15 minutes. I'm like, wait, I take my glass off. I'm like, my glass is dirty. What's going on? I'm looking around, and
It's
people
just
were just
like
kind of
little
like, what was going on was like some of it up front was like kind of good. It was kind of like not so great, but I saw a lot of the double, and it may be my eyes too, but I saw a lot of like the double imagery.
yeah,
Like it wasn't fixing that and making it 3D. At least my glasses weren't.
yeah,
And I know I've seen quality. I went and saw the original Avatar, and it looked great in
yeah,
3D when they re-released it in movie theater. I took the kids to see it in 3D. I'm like, this is the one I remember in 3D. That original
yeah,
Avatar,
and it's
thinking 3D works, you know,
yeah.
because it
Avatar
was
2 was like
filmed.
that too. Avatar 2
It
was
was,
really good in 3D.
yeah, so it was filmed that way, like specifically. So this one, yeah, if I go see it again, I may or may not, but if I do, I'm definitely seeing it 2D,
Yeah,
and hopefully no one coughing in the theater
nobody coughing. I hate
the
that. I
whole
hate
time.
that. I
It was
hate
just
that.
like, I know you paid for a ticket, but dag gum, the
Yeah,
whole movie?
no cough drops.
Yeah, no cough drop. Go
Cough
go
drop.
go buy a soda or
Yeah.
something. I
Well, those
mean,
are too expensive, bro. You can't be buying sodas at the theater. You can't afford them, especially if you're gonna be seeing all
yeah.
these movies.
No,
So
yeah, you gotta get. Well, someone's sneaking in drinks next to me because I hear the can.
just crack open.
Yeah, I was like, I just look around like whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Like
They're
you're
not.
yeah.
They
Hey,
really don't come and like check us
you
in this local theater that much, but
yeah, you
I've
ain't
never like tried to sneak a whole like can of Coke in or something and
yeah.
just like, I mean, at least bring the little twist bottle or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. You ain't no
But
snitch. So
bringing in Taco Bell and stuff, come on.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. So, but well, cool deal. We've talked for a long time, and I
All
appreciate
right,
your
man.
time.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time. You want to plug yourself? I mean, I've got your name down below,
Um,
but you know
I'm
what?
thoroughly.
What's
Uh,
up?
so yeah, I do have a YouTube channel, The Real Cobra Burnout, all one word. So you can find me over there. Um,
Heck yeah.
yeah, if you're looking for Cobras burning out on there, you're not gonna see that right now because
No,
I,
no cobras.
we've had I've had such a downturn in life.
Yeah,
Vehicle wise, I'm still rolling right now. I'm currently rolling 2003 F-150.
yeah.
So
I
I
sold the
don't have
Stang. I don't
a.
know if you knew that.
You sold it.
I sold it. Yeah, I sold mine for this. I
So
know.
so me and you like we're without Mustangs again.
No
So
Mustangs.
um, I got my eyes peeled. I'm probably gonna have to really take a back step in life and get out like a used Cobra.
Yeah. I,
Yeah,
I,
but
I really got my eyes on one of these GT 350s if I can get a good deal on one.
yeah, I passed up one that was back before they got really super hot because I was like, I don't want payments right now. This was a couple years back, and I was
Yeah.
like, before the crazy. It's actually, I guess it would have been just before the crazy pandemic stuff kicked off with cars.
Yeah.
You could still get cars that weren't being marked up $20,000 at a dealer.
Yep.
And there was a used one on the dealership, and I was like, that's a pretty decent deal. I could get back into I mean, it's GT350. I call them Cobras, but
It's still
snake
got
on the
the yeah,
side.
it's got the
It's got
snake on the
snake on the
side.
side, but
It's a
yeah, it's
350. It's still got the
GT350.
still got the standard on
Uh,
that one too. So
that one did, yeah. That's actually the one I have. I was really considering getting it, so I took some pictures of it, and then I kind of decided not to. I was like trying to be the smart one with the finances.
yeah,
Didn't want that car payment, so
yeah,
yeah. But I got to get something again. Um, so I'm probably going to take a step back, and I'm actually looking. Nah, we'll see what happens. I don't want to throw anything out there,
yeah. You don't want to put.
but I don't want to put it out there, and then.
You need to be one of those
But
guys rolling around in one of those like 93 50s. Is it 93 or 94?
yeah,
It's
you just
that
can't.
weird
Those are
that Fox body.
the
What year
Fox
was that?
body. Yeah, Fox bodies were pre 94, so they were like in the 80s up
So
to like
93.
94, I think.
Okay.
93 or the 93.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because like when they moved to the next body style, the SN95,
Yep.
they still had the 5.0s in them up until I think 96. I had a 97 Cobra, and then
They go to a 4.6 whenever they did that.
yeah, it was a 4.6 modular, 4 valve in the Cobra.
Yeah.
Um, and then so yeah, actually, I was those Fox bodies. You can't get them now because they're just so expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have a lot of power, but they're that old 5.0. There's ways to modify it,
Yeah.
old school style.
Yeah.
But they're so light. They're really lightweight cars.
Yeah.
But the SN95 was the next generation. I had that 97, and then in 99, so 99 through '04, it's still an SN95, but they call it the New Edge. So it's that
Yeah.
squared looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those are really growing on me again. When they first came out, I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. And then I kind of like, yeah, I don't like those because the next generation came out, which I really liked.
You're talking about was that the
retro look?
was that the 10 to 14? Is that the one you're
Yeah,
talking
because
about?
I had I had a 13. That's probably my favorite right there. And then no longer have it,
Yeah.
thanks to somebody in my life. But
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, so I'm looking at like what's the most affordable Cobra I might be able to get. That's then the trick is finding one that's not modified.
Yeah. It has just been beat to
If
shit.
it has some exhaust, okay, but yeah, if it's heavily modified, beat up, and then lower miles, and they do have some people just took these cars and they didn't drive them very much.
Yeah.
So there's like a little happy medium in there. You don't want one that's been parked forever, but 40, 50,000 miles, I might be able to pick one up in that SN95 frame. Probably not. I would like to have an 0304 Terminator that's
Yeah.
supercharged. That would be
Yeah.
really good, but
Dream car, yeah.
it gets up in price there. But those Fox bodies are more than those Terminators.
I'm like in the super majority, but I'm like a huge fan of that what do they call it? They call it like the Super Cobra. It's like that Mustang 2.
That's yeah.
Like everybody
The
hates
King-
that.
the
King
King
Cobra.
Cobra.
Yeah, not Super Cobra.
Yeah.
King Cobra. I
Well,
like
if I saw one local, I'd probably buy one if it was cheap enough. But
yeah, like
because it's a novelty.
everybody hates the way that car looks, and for some reason I think it's awesome. Like that'll be if I could have whatever infinite amount of money, I'd grab a
Those
King
are hard to
Cobra.
find now too. Yeah, you
At
try to
one
find a
point,
Mustang too.
yeah.
Yeah, at one point you couldn't even give them away.
Well, I was gonna say at one point I saw one for like $2,000, like a King Cobra for $2,000,
Yeah,
and it's like
if I was rolling around, I saw one for $2,000, I would just go ahead and grab it and just be like,
Yeah.
all right, I got one of these now.
yeah, just add it to the collection, add it to my Hot Wheel collection.
Yeah, but it's just hard to find anything right now because like everyone thinks used cars are worth gold, and
Yeah.
they're still most of them are pieces of crap.
Yeah,
But I have seen some of those SN95s for a pretty cheap amount. So I gotta get something with some lower miles. My truck's. I'm not gonna get rid of my truck. I'll just have it on the side. So I'll be rolling two old vehicles. And
yeah.
just one breaks. I gotta
Instead
back
of
up.
one, yeah, instead of one old vehicle.
Anyway, that may
So
not happen, but Yeah, my channel. So right now, there's not much car stuff going on there, but so I'm just kind of showing toys and crap that I have, Transformer
Back into the
videos,
Transformers.
bunch of got a bunch of Batman stuff. Got heavy into that again because
Yeah.
of the Flash movie.
Hmm.
Got some, you know, random stuff on there.
You got some
Go check it out.
Hess stuff coming up.
Got a Hess truck vid that just hit. It's always a good hangout over there.
Yeah.
Just go check out the Real Code Burnout if you want to burn off some minutes of your life that you'll never ever get back.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Well, we've been talking about it for a while to get you like, you and I need to hop on, so we'll have to do something else. Maybe you could pick the next topic and I can you can interview me and we
Yeah,
can talk,
like I
cuss and
need like
discuss.
yeah, actually prep. It's the last minute.
That was a little bit on me. I was like, "Hey, we should do this today," and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I was like, and then I'm in the middle of packing, so like, at some point, I'm gonna be uploading videos, and like, none of this is gonna look the same because I'm gonna be somewhere else. So
Yeah, same here.
I'll be
I'll eventually be
relocating.
gone. Yeah,
I'll
that's
be
I gotta do that too.
yeah, but
We
like I
gotta
said,
we gotta hit up the secret locations, the bunkers.
yeah, definitely down for some bunker action, bunking up. So
Yeah, we gotta get Cobras.
oh, sounds like a plan. But well, thanks again, guys. We'll catch you on the flip side. Catch you on the flip flop.
Thought there was someone
Oh, you
behind me
thought? Yeah,
for a second.
I was waving at him.
Guys, I'm like, guys.
Hey.